All right. Hi. Hi. Today we're starting a new book for our read aloud. It is called The Life Cycle of a Salmon. So, hang on, before anyone raises their hands or gives me any comments, I know that you probably already know some things about salmon. Over here, I already made up for us, this is called a knowledge web. In the middle, this word says salmon. And from the salmon, I have lots of different subcategories, which are different branches that we want to know more about. This word says dangers. So if you can think of any dangers that salmon may face. This word says habitat. We've already been talking about different habitats, right, with our frog and tadpole and fish stories that we've been reading. So this time we're going to be thinking about a salmon's habitat. This word says physical characteristics. Can anyone tell me what they think physical characteristics means? Because it's kind of tricky. So physical characteristics are what you see when you look at something. So if I was looking at a salmon, I'm basically describing what it is I'm seeing if I'm thinking about physical characteristics. This subcategory is food, what salmon eat. And this one are ways to help salmon. All right, so how about before we even read this book, can you guys put your hands up? Let's go one by one. Let's try to get at least one idea for every subcategory. Who wants to tell me, Isaac, you've had your hand up, so pick a subcategory and tell me what you want me to write down under. Dangers. All right, what do you know about dangers?
One of the dangers is bears.
Bears. Oh, okay, very good.
For the sockeye.
I'm only listening to people that I call on. So why are bears dangerous to salmon?
Because the sockeye salmon have to go on a long journey with lots of dangers, but one of them is bears.
But why are bears dangerous? Do bears just like to play with salmon?
Because there's waterfalls, and then when they jump up, sometimes bears grab them in their mouths and then they eat them.
So bears are a predator, right? And salmon are the bear's prey because the bears will eat the salmon. So we can write predators, bears. Okay? How about that? If anyone else has a danger they want to think of, right now is the time to think and put your hand up, and when I turn around, I can call on you. Predators / bears. How about Victoria? What do you think? Bears.
And I'm scared.
We're talking about what could be dangerous to a salmon. Sienna, what do you think?
I think raccoons.
Raccoons. So you think another predator could be raccoons? Does anyone else have any ideas? If you were a salmon, think about what you might be scared of. Wolfie, what do you think?
A water snake.
A water snake? Do you think that could be another predator? I can think of a different kind of predator for a salmon. If I were a salmon, I might be scared of a fishing boat because a fishing boat might try to catch me and then I would get cooked up, right? So how about that for a predator? People can be predators too.
Yeah, they could eat people. And eat fish.
That's right. Let's move on to, I'm going to wait till everyone's ready and their eyes are up here. How about ways to help salmon? Let's think about, there are some dangers, but then there are always ways to help. What do you think, Wolfie, would be a good way to help?
Like a way to help like the fin would help them, like flying fish would help them, like flying fish would help them, so they would float up.
So this category is asking ways that we can help salmon. Julius, hang on, Wolfie. Think about it for another minute.
Think about the dangers of animals.
Let's move on to ways to help for now. We can come back to this knowledge web after we read a book.
Okay, but the people helping them in a way, like not killing them, but trying to stop people from killing them.
Nice. Okay. Let's call that. Let's see. How should we write that? People could protect salmon by not fishing for them.
Or killing them.
Right. Okay. So how about less fishing? Because we know that if we fish, what happen? If we catch a fish, what happens to the fish? They die. So we could just say less fishing, and that would mean less fish would die.
But
how about ways? All right. How about we move on?
They're so important to the ecosystem.
They are important to the ecosystem. You're right.
I have a different
ways to help. I really need you guys to raise hands. I know you're excited, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so I need you guys to raise your hand. Maria, you had something?
Keep the environment clean.
I love that. I was gonna say that, but I didn't. I wanted to see if someone else could come up with that. So ways to help would be to keep their environment clean and free of dangerous trash, right? So keep the environment clean. Oh my goodness, you guys are on a roll. Yeah. Like trash. So I'm writing your idea right here, Maria. Keep environment clean.
I do not like fish.
All right. How about let's move on to food. Do you guys know? This is called a knowledge web. So it's actually things that I'm only writing down things that we know. If we don't know, it's okay. We can skip it, but we're not going to guess. Okay? If we guess and we don't know, it's not going to get written down because this is our knowledge web about things that we know to be true, like a nonfiction about salmon. So does anyone know what salmon actually do eat? Tater, your hands up. What?
They eat sometimes if they're really big salmon, they could eat they eat if they're really big, they could eat plankton.
You think they eat plankton? Does anyone else agree with that? Do you think so? That sounds like it could be true. I don't know, but if you guys think that is true, I'll write plankton down because it sounds like it is true. So let's write plankton.
It is not.
We're going to learn a lot more about this and add to it, guys, also. Let's go over to Melody. Did you have something for food? What is it?
I think they eat fish.
You think they eat other fish?
No.
Like smaller fish, maybe?
No, that's actually not true. That's actually not true. Not true.
So that's a good thought, Melody, but I don't know if that's true. So let's hold on to it. And if we find out that it's true, we'll add it to our web, okay? Okay, I am not listening to calling out, and it's going to make me very sad if you have to leave the rug. I'm not listening to because why not? Let's go over to habitat. What do you guys think a salmon's habitat would be? Let's see. Who have I not heard from yet? Elijah?
I think their habitat might be underwater.
Look at me when you're talking because I can't hear you. Underwater? So what kind of water? Do you think like a swimming pool maybe?
No.
Oh, what kind of water?
Maybe an ocean or a beach.
Maybe an ocean? All right, we can write. What, does anyone else have ideas? Tate and Isaac. Do you guys have ideas about a salmon's habitat?
Yeah. I have an idea.
What's your idea?
The ocean.
Okay. You were listening. Elijah just gave us that answer. It's very important to listen to our friends' ideas. Ellie, what do you think? I think we're on the right track with bodies of water, but I don't think just ocean. What? River? You think that they could live in a river? I agree. I know that salmon can live in rivers. That's an interesting fact because what's different about ocean water and river water? Does anyone know there's one big, big difference, Julius?
River water is clean, but it's also very like kind of like it's cleaner than ocean water.
What does ocean water have that river water does not have?
Salt.
Salt. Yes, exactly. So ocean water has salt in it. Rivers and ponds do not have salt. Like if you go to the beach ever and get water in your mouth, you know that salty taste? And then if you've ever swam in a pond, you wouldn't have that salt in it. So it's kind of interesting that salmon can live in both types of water. Let's go on to our last category for now, physical characteristics. Let me hold up this book because the cover of this book has a picture of a salmon. And this is what we need to be thinking about when we think about physical characteristics. Everyone should have a hand up because if you cannot see this picture, let me know and I will come bring it to you. But if you can see this picture, you can tell me a physical characteristic of a salmon. So I'm going to wait till everyone's hand is up so that I know that everyone sees a physical characteristic of a salmon. If you need help seeing this picture, give me a nonverbal signal to let me know. Luciano, what do you think?
I didn't really.
So a physical characteristic is what you see when you look at something. So what do you see when you're looking at this picture of a salmon?
Well, I see that part of it is kind of like clear and
part of it's orange and part of it is clear. Excellent. So salmon are interesting because they can be very colorful. So I'll write orange color and silver too. I think you meant when you said clear, did you mean like silverish kind of? Yeah. Orange and silver. What else? Declan, what do you think?
salmon could sometimes be red and a little bit orangey with the red.
Exactly, they can be like a red-orange color. That's right. Sit on your bottom, please.
A little bit of greenish yellow on the face.
A little bit of greenish yellow on the face, sure. Also red/yellow. Anyone else want to give me one more thing? Melody, what do you think?
I think he looks like a fish.
He does look like a fish. What makes a fish look like a fish? Does he have fur, like a dog?
No.
So what makes a fish look like a fish then? What's a physical characteristic of a fish?
He looks like orange.
We said orange, but what do fish have? They don't have skin like people, and they don't have fur like dogs and cats. What do fish have? Do you remember the word? Do you want help? Ask Jamil for help. He has his hand up. Jamil? Fins and scales. They are made of fins and they have scales, right? Scales, fins. All right. How about we leave this for now? We're going to have the opportunity to add more knowledge to this web after we read some of this book, okay? So, for this book, The Life Cycle of a Salmon, can you guys give me a guess? Do you think that this is A, a storybook, or B, a nonfiction book? Who thinks nonfiction? Who thinks nonfiction, meaning that this book would give us real information about something and help us do research about facts? Victoria, sit up so you can see. You guys are so smart. This is a nonfiction book.
I hear life cycle, so that means
Life cycle gave you that clue. Also, the picture on the front, is this like a cartoon of something pretend that someone would have drawn from their imagination? It's a photograph. So a photograph is something that is real. Victoria, I need you to look up here and pay attention so you don't miss it. Hang on, guys. So some nonfiction books begin with a page that looks like this. This is called table of contents. So if I open up a book, and sometimes nonfiction books with a lot of information can be really long, right? And I might not have time to read every single page of a new book. But say I want to know about a salmon's body. Then all I would have to do is come over to the table of contents, and right here it says a salmon's body, and I go over and it says that information is on page 10. Do you guys see? So I can say, all right, I can flip to page 10. Look, a salmon's body right here, all the information that I need. So that's how they can be organized, and that's really helpful. Isaac?
It's about the cover of the book. So on the cover of the book, so this is what a sockeye salmon looks like after it finishes its journey. So it's probably about fish that are like sockeye salmon.
It might be. We'll read it to find out. All right. So last thing we have to do before we read this book is vocabulary. We have a few new words to learn because if we're going to read a nonfiction book and learn information, we have to know the words in that book to understand it, right? Our first word that we're going to be talking about, I really need you to stop talking, Tate. I really can't hear myself teach when you're talking. Can everyone see this picture? This is the word pollute. To pollute means to make unclean with man-made trash. I know you guys know about polluting. You know how when we have when we meet our buddies outside in the playground and you guys go around the playground and pick up trash? That is pollution. And what you guys are doing is putting it in the recycling or in the trash can. So you're helping, when something is polluted, you're helping to make it clean. So you're already doing something to help the environment. But pollution, this is disgusting. This is a lake and it's full of trash. It makes me very sad and it's definitely dangerous, like Maria said, for salmon. Nope, you don't have your hand up. I can't call on you. All right, let's go to the next word. This is the word protect, and it's a picture of a guy's hand protecting two tiny little kittens. Do you think the little kittens can protect themselves out in the world alone? They wouldn't be safe, right? So to protect means to make sure that someone or something is not hurt and to keep them safe. Can everyone take a second and think in their head about something that protects you? Think in your head, a person or something. We're going to use sentences in a sec. I'm going to go first. I'm going to show you my sentence. When I'm in the car, I use my seatbelt to protect me. Who else can give me a sentence about being protected? Simon, give your hand up. Okay, you need to be thinking then because I want to hear from you, Jisabella.
In my mom's car, I put open my seatbelt so I don't fall in my car.
You didn't use the word protect. You used the word protect. You can say when I'm in the car, I use a seatbelt. Nice job. All right, Sienna.
When I'm in my house, I use my parents to protect me.
My parents protect me. That's a good one, Lucci.
When I'm in my car, my mom protects me by driving safe.
Nice. Very good. How about one more, Jordan?
I'm in my daddy's car. And he built it up and my people in.
Nice. Declan, go ahead because I'm thinking about you. Can you give me a good sentence? How about how do you get to school? Riding. And, yep, and what?
Can I do a different one?
Okay, go ahead.
The trees protect me because they push everybody in front, but I know how to climb up a way, and it pushes in their face, that's why they can't see.
All right, how about when I'm riding my bicycle, my helmet protects me, right? That's a good one too. All right, we're going to move on to the next word. This is the word nutrients. So nutrients are things that help people, plants, and animals stay strong and healthy. So who can give me an example of a nutrient? Simon, I'm still waiting for you to put your hand up. I really want to hear it. What do you think, Simon? I said, who can give me an example of a nutrient? Look at the picture and think about what I said nutrient means. It's something that keeps people and things strong and healthy. Look at the picture. Nope. Look at the picture. What is this picture of?
It's a vegetable.
Right. So what do you think a nutrient is? Like potato chips?
How about
No.
celery?
Celery, yes. Good job. Celery is a nutrient. Ellie.
It's healthy food.
Healthy food. But what are examples of healthy food, Julius?
Like salmon are nutrients to other animals.
That could be true. Who have I not heard from? Victoria. Nutrient. Tell me something that would be a nutrient. Look at the picture. Can you see it? What do you see?
Leaves.
Nope. These are pictures of foods.
Food.
Okay, what kind of food? Pears are nutrients. So basically, Wolfie, what do you think?
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. So I'm thinking of fresh fruits and vegetables. Those are very nutritious foods. And some proteins can be, yes. All right. Next word, habitat. Here we have 4 different pictures of similar habitats that we've been learning about so far, right? A habitat is the place where an animal lives. Do you guys remember what the frog's habitat was? What do you think? What was it, Jamil? It was like a pond, yeah. And then when the tadpole lived in the pond. When the frog gets its legs, it can hop onto land. Good. Fantastic. If we say something is fantastic, we're saying it's really good and special. Let's use this one in a sentence. Let's do a turn and talk. Turn and talk. Isaac and Tate, Maria and Simon. You too.
Melody and Elijah.
Melody and Elijah, Jamil and Sienna, Lucci and Hannah, Wolfie and Ellie, Jordan and Julius. Do you guys know what we're turning and talking about? No. 5, 4, 3. Okay. We're turning and talking. I want one sentence about something that you think is fantastic, and then listen to your partner. Go.
Maybe I could tell you.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you guys raise your hands if you can tell me something that you said was fantastic, Isaac?
Tate said that lemon chuck is fantastic.
Nice, Tate. What did Isaac say, Tate? Do you remember?
His basement is fantastic.
Nice. Maria, what did Simon say, Maria?
He said that
Do you remember or do you need help? Simon, what is fantastic for you?
my costume.
Your Halloween costume was fantastic. Maria, what about you?
My necklace that I made tattoo
Is
fantastic.
nice. How about Melody?
When my mom takes me to school,
Nice. Elijah?
when I go
Great. No, that's it. That's a good sentence. Thank you so much. All right, Lucci, go ahead.
Okay. I said that my mom is fantastic.
Very nice. All right, Isabella, last one.
My mom's car is fantastic.
Your mom's car is fantastic. Vicki, can you tell me one thing that you think is fantastic? This is a picture of a fish that I thought was fantastic, but tell me something that you know of. What do you think is fantastic, Victoria? What do you think is fantastic? Not the fish. How about something that Victoria likes a lot, that is fantastic to Victoria? What do you think? Can you say, my something is fantastic? What can you say? My hair is fantastic today. Can you say that? Yep, I see it. Can you use fantastic in a sentence? Say my hair is fantastic. Thank you. All right. Here's the word journey. So to take a journey is to go on a long trip somewhere. So people often go on trips and we say they went on a journey, but animals actually go on journeys too. And we're going to be learning about different animal journeys. Do you have a comment, Sienna? Okay. Tate, I need you to stop. Can you tell me later because I want to move on to our last word, okay?
No, I have it. So I think journey is like travel.
Yes, so we just said that. So journey is taking a long trip. And people can do it and animals can do it. No, thank you. Last vocabulary word that we need to know is life cycle. We've been talking about life cycle of the tadpole and the frog, and now today we're going to start talking about the life cycle of a salmon. So life cycle is the stages a living thing goes through as it grows into an adult. So we see here eggs. That's exactly how tadpole and frog started out too, right? Eggs. And then we have Alvin. Can you guys repeat after me? Say Alvin.
Alvin.
You say fry.
Fry.
Par.
Par.
Smolt.
Smolt.
Adult.
Adult.
Spawning adult.
Spawning.
So this is a little bit more than just the tadpole, eggs, tadpole, froglet, frog life cycle. This is a little bit more. So we're going to start learning about this. Before we read a couple pages of our book, can we do a special kind of stretch break? Stand up. Everyone, please. Nope. Stand up, both of you. Instead of a stretch break, can we do a fish swim break? So can we go like this around the room? We're going to stay in our lens. Remember when we did a gallery walk? It's going to be similar to that. We're going to swim together in a circle around the room until you come back to your spot. Go ahead. Swim. Nope. Fish don't talk. They just swim. Come on, fishies. Swim with your fins. Victoria.
Swim. Keep swimming.
Stand up, Tate. We're going to do standing swims. You can pedal your arms a little bit to your sides. Good job. Good job. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going till you get to your spot on the rug, and then you need to swim down to your little spot and burrow in so that we can read a book.
What's spawning?
We're going to learn about it in the book, I promise. Okay. 3, 2, 1. That was amazing. So for this book, we're only going to read 2 pages today, but there's a lot of information on these pages, and we're going to have to go back to our knowledge web with at least another new thing that we can add to it. So good readers, pay close attention so that you guys can help out and learn from this book. So life cycle of a salmon. Wolfie, sit up. What are salmon? Salmon are fish. Fish are vertebrates. A vertebrate is an animal that has a backbone. A backbone is a row of bones in the middle of an animal's back. Guess what, guys? We all have backbones. You can feel it with your hand. Like most fish, salmon are bony fish. Bony fish have hard skeletons, keeping their cool. Fish are cold-blooded animals. The body temperatures of cold-blooded animals change as the temperatures of their surroundings change. A salmon that is in cool water has a lower body temperature than a salmon that is in warm water. Salmon relations. Salmon belong to a family of fish called Salmonidae. Other members of this family include grayling, whitefish, char, and trout. Salmon and trout are closely related. Scientists do not always agree on whether trout are actually a species of salmon. I'm going to do a quick walk around so that you guys can see, because these pictures are not that big, but they are real. So I want you to see them and think about what we just learned, because I know we just learned a few things we could add to our knowledge web. So take a second. You should all be looking at the pictures and thinking about what we just read. And what could we add to our knowledge web now? All right. Let me see some hands about things that we could add to our web of knowledge. Isaac, you see it? Okay. Get the marker. Isaac, what do you think?
I know another danger.
Okay, you found another danger on these pages? What danger did you learn about?
I learned at that, no, it's like at dangers, there's no dangers on this page, but I learned that there's different kinds of dangers.
Okay, so physical characteristics then? All right, what physical characteristic did you learn about?
That there's other species of salmon, but they don't know if trout is a species of salmon.
That's right. So we could add a whole new category of salmon relations to our web. We could do that. Should we do that? Okay. So Isaac says that he learned about salmon relations. So I'm going to use my marker to add a whole new category because that is interesting. And for salmon relations, we learned about the grayling, whitefish, char, and trout, right? What else do we learn about? Think about the other categories. I think we learned about physical characteristics. If anyone can remember when I said about physical characteristics. Lucci, what do you think?
I learned that they had that, like,
You did? Do you remember the word? There was backbone, but remember when it says salmon are, it's a V word. What was it, Isaac?
vertebrates.
Vertebrates. That's right. Char. Okay. So physical characteristics. Salmon are fish. Fish are vertebrates. So salmon are vertebrates. And that means they have what, Lucci? A
Backbone.
A backbone. Awesome. Backbone. Okay, does anyone else have anything to add? No? No one else learned anything? What about that they're cold-blooded? So people are warm-blooded. We have warm blood, but fish have cold blood. They're cold-blooded animals. So where would that go under? What subcategory? Would that go under food?
No.
What do you think?
Physical characteristics.
Nice. Physical characteristics. Cold-blooded.
It's getting really full.
It is getting really full because we're learning a lot. Okay. Woo. Okay. I think that's good for today. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
The last thing I would like to do, let's write down a couple of questions, maybe like 3 or 4 questions that we want to make sure that we learn about. Who wants to give me a question about salmon, about their life cycle, about the dangers, about their food, about anything you want to do with salmon? Who have we not heard from much? Elijah, paying attention? Lucy, what do you think?
I haven't learned.
Okay, what do salmon eat? Excellent question. We didn't learn that in those 2 pages that we read today. Okay, Elijah.
How could salmon hold stuff? Because they have no fingers to hold.
Right, so how do they catch things maybe? Like food, for example? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
How do they catch their food? Who else has a question they would like to learn about? Jordan, what do you think? Come up here, please, and tell me so that I can hear you. What question would you like to learn about? We're not going to learn about turtles with this, though. Do you have any questions about salmon? Do you have a question? Do you have any questions, or is that just stuff that you know about? Okay, thank you. All right, 1 more or 2 more questions. Isaac?
When do salmon die?
Wow, that's an interesting question. When do salmon die? Who else has a question? Ellie, can you think of one? Zolina? Can you think of a question about salmon? Wolfie? What would you like to know if I said, guys, we're going to learn about salmon. We can learn about anything you want about salmon. What do you want to know? What can I teach you? What do you want to be taught? Can you give me something? Or you just don't even care what I teach you? Say, I don't care, Mrs. Doyle. Hang on. Wolfie has a question.
I want to learn more about what they eat.
Okay, we have that right here and how they catch their food too. Hannah, what do you think you want to learn about? Zolina, I'm still thinking of you. Try to think of a question for me. Try to think of a question that is so interesting that you cannot wait to learn about salmon. We'll see if we can learn it together. Declan?
Why don't fish have feet?
Why don't fish have feet? We can definitely write that down. All right. Awesome work. Why don't you guys take a regular stretch break? What?
I wonder what other predators have.
Oh, what other predators they have. Awesome.
Fish people. Wolfie enjoyed it.
Oh, I do. It's together.
All right.
Yes.
You just jump in the water and jumped in there and live.
Why do you want it?
How they go?
Just jump in.
Guess what, Jimmy?
Okay.
This is 25.
5,
So.
2, 1.